Successful people learn how to make their mind work for them. I'm David Nagel, and this is the Successful Mind Podcast. First principles, simplicity. What is it in itself? That's just as important as holding the idea of truth in your mind, okay? The book that we're going to go from today, we're going to do another Vernon Howard. Today is Mystic Path to Cosmic Power. Mystic Path to Cosmic Power. To place a feeling before understanding is to cause tragic illusion. A man cannot see anything he is unwilling to see. He is unwilling because he fears the loss of his false and fixed viewpoints, and that those things mean the loss of himself. So, what does that mean? It means that, and if you remember, I did a teaching very intently on how we give meaning to everything. Human beings give meaning to everything. Why do you give the meaning to things that you do? Why do you give, especially when it comes to negative meanings, why do you give negative meanings to things that you do? Keeps you safe, it keeps you certain, it keeps you in your little bubble, it keeps you from breaking out. I think Vernon Howard was all about breaking through those fixed ideas that are false. He says, with most people, it takes a severe shock of some sort and some kind, and intense suffering often makes them see the light. Now, we know this is true. We know this is true. We know that many people never change until some drastic ass thing happens in their life. And then, they're like, oh my God, I either I have to change, or I'll never go back to that again, or I'll never go through that again, or whatever. But the problem is that it's not necessary. It's not necessary. Everybody can, instead of having to hit a bottom, you could say, this is my bottom. Like, I'm not willing to tolerate anything more than what I'm experiencing in a negative way. I want to go up from here. So he goes on and on in this book. It's really great. And then, just as you think he might go totally over the edge, esoteric on you, which he can do, by the way. Like, Vernon can definitely go down that road. There's another great book. So you guys like the self-hypnosis stuff, yeah? He's got a great book called Psychopictography. You might want to pick that one up. Psychopictography, it's out of date. There's no question about it. But I think if you read it, you'll get the idea. What he did was he took metaphors and images, and he filled the entire book with those things. And the idea was that people replace the fixed images that they have in their mind with the ones that he came up with. And to some degree, it's a pretty darn good book. You may want to re-language some of it, like for today and in today's times. He wrote this book, he wrote that book probably 35 years ago. But anyway, just as you think he's going to go like massive down the esoteric road, he says, if you want opposite results from what you've been getting, take the opposite course. Turn all demands inward. Demand your own power. Now, you've heard me say, I will not be denied my success, right? That was my language for my transformation in the beginning. I will not be denied my success. He says, demand your own power. Insist that your mind work for you, not against you. Demand that you stop being so afraid. Command your habits to be what you wish. Demand constant and sincere work toward your own deliverance. Now, there's one thing you want to change in this, where he says, demand that I will not be afraid. Never demand you won't be afraid. Demand that you're courageous. Always put it in the positive tense of what you want, not what you don't want, because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. It'll just pick up the language as you understand it. He says, living from the true self is the great answer. Man is like a tree wanting to push itself to the sky. As it grows upward, the various branches take over to insist that they can reach the top quicker and easier than the trunk. but all they do is drain energy and retard growth. The man who grows surely toward the sky is one who refuses to go along with such false branches as sensation-seeking and egotistical desires. The true self carries us upward. Here is the genuine self-knowledge, and here's where it enters the picture. Lack of self-knowledge leads to self-defeat. A person decides to better his life in some way, fine. But since he does not know what his true interests are, he does the wrong thing, or he does the impulsive thing. He ends up even worse than before because he has now added another burdensome false branch. In turn, that creates an anxiety which impels him to one or more shoot off in the wrong direction. He is caught in the frightening vicious cycle which grows smaller around him every year. Genuine self-knowledge reverses the whole process. He sees what is genuinely good for him. He lives more from his true self, in which there is self-victory. The man is skyward bound. Okay, so again, the idea is first principles, simplicity. Ask of each thing, what is it in itself? What is it in itself? Okay, so everything that you're experiencing, simplicity, bring it down. What is it in itself?
Thanks for listening to the Successful Mind podcast. And if you like what you heard and you want to know more, go to davidnagel.com/free stuff.